Shalom, brothers and sisters, and once again, this is Brother Brandon Judah Matt Duffy, representing the Solid Foundation International Ministries. I will be bringing forth the lesson today, pursuing Romans, the 11th chapter. I will be going over that, elaborating on Romans, the 11th chapter. So, brothers and sisters, get your pens, your pads, your papers out, and get ready to receive this significant message dealing with Romans, the 11th chapter today. And we want to say all praises and glorification to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders and salutations to the Akim that's teaching the lost sheep, edifying the lost sheep of the house of Israel. I only have like a 30-minute time limit, so I'm not going to prolong any more time. Let's get into the lesson. I have 30 minutes. I'm going to do this quick as possible, brothers and sisters. Listen carefully concerning this lesson. S.F.I.M, Solid Foundation International Ministries, dealing with Romans what? The 11th chapter. Okay, so I'm going to be skipping all over the 11th chapter of Romans. Okay, so let's start with verse 1. I say then, have God cast away his people? God forbid, for I am also an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So Paul asked a question here, has God cast away his people? Hell no. That's why I say God forbid. You Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, you are the 12 tribes of Israel, which is right here. You are known as the people of this book, the people of the Bible. You are the chosen people. Not the white man, not the Chinese, not the East Indians, Africans, not the Arabs, not any heathenistic nation. Okay? But only the people of Negro and Indian descent, which you see before your very eyes, right here, which you see. You are, right here, you are the chosen people of this Bible. You are promised the kingdom of heaven. You are the ones who the Most High chose out of all these nationality of people. You are very special to him, and it's time for you to wake up and know you're not Gentiles. Gentiles are non-Israelites people. If you're not on this list, then you will be considered a Gentile. Okay, like white people, Japanese, Chinese, Africans, East Indians, Arabs. They are not on here because why? They are not from the 12 tribes of Israel. They are Gentiles. They are not God's people. So that's why I say, have God cast away his people? Because you have these pastors that's preaching this false doctrine in these church organizations telling you that we're Gentiles, and that's not true. They're telling you that the Israelites are done away with, they are no longer in effect, they are no longer in existence, and that's not true. That's not true. That's why he said, God cast away his people? God forbid. Hell no. The Israelites still remain to this day, and Paul says, for I'm an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So Paul, the apostle, he was a Benjamite. From what tribe? He was a Benjamite from the tribe of Benjamin. And right here, as you can see, the Benjamites today are the West Indies, the West Indians, which are also known as Jamaicans. So today, Paul would be considered a Jamaican. Paul the Apostle would be a Jamaican today. And he wrote 75% of the New Testament. Okay, and we'll continue to read on. So we just picking out the strong points of Romans chapter 11, not all these verses. Like I said, we just, for the sake of time, we just picking out the vivid verses. Alright, let's look at Romans 11 and 7. What then? Israel have not attained that which he seeketh for, but the election have attained it, and the rest was blind. Now who is it simply talking about right here when it says Israel have not attained which he seeketh for, but the election have attained it, and the rest were blind? Okay, because however you're going to find out of the nation of Israel, 1/3 of you Negroes and Indians and Hispanics, Negroes, Indians, and Hispanics, 1/3 of you shall be saved from this nuclear destruction. Whosoever that keep the law, statutes, and commandments out of Negro and Indian descent, you shall be saved. 1/3 of you shall be saved along with the 144,000. But the bad news, 2/3 of you going to be destroyed. And those 2/3 is the rest that were blinded. Those are the ones that can't get this truth. Those are the ones that don't understand that Christ was black. They don't understand that God is a black power. They don't understand that we are the Israelites. They don't understand that. They don't understand nothing concerning this truth. Those are the 2/3 that are blinded, that can't get this truth for nothing. No matter how you may try to bring it to them, they cannot get it. Those are the rest that was blinded. Okay, that those ones that don't believe that the white man is the devil, that don't believe that white people are going into slavery, those 2/3 that want to continue to love this devil, that want to continue to love the white man, they are blind. Don't waste your time. They are part of the 2/3. They can't receive the truth. Why? It says, according as it's written, this is Romans 11 and 8, according as it's written, God have given them the spirit of slumber, and that their eyes should not see. So don't be, basically, don't get overwhelmed and don't get agitated and irritable because a Negro want to accept this truth, or or they want to accept the truth what you're saying. Just don't get overwhelmed. Don't get worked up about that, because God gave them the spirit of slumber that their eyes should not see. So He are the Most High is the very reason why everybody's not going to receive this truth. He only has a certain number of people. He only has a small remnant of people that's going to receive this truth, and the rest is going to be blind, man, because it's not meant for the whole nation of Israel to get this truth. It's only meant for 1/3 and 144,000. The other 2/3 is not going to get this truth, man. God have given them a spirit of slumber that they eyes should not see and their ears should not hear. That's why they don't understand nothing you say. They don't understand the prophecies, the chapters, or the verses. And to this day, okay? And why is it that 2/3 can't understand? Why is it that some Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans cannot understand this truth, no matter how hard you try to preach to them? Because David, he prayed that 2/3 of the nation of Israel would not receive the truth. Because it said, and David said, let their table be made a snare, and their trap, and a stumbling block, and recompense unto them. Now, where did David make this statement? I'm moving real quick, and I'm talking real fast, brothers and sisters. I only have 30 minutes. I only have a 30-minute timeline. So, where did David say this when he prayed that 2/3 of Israel would not receive this knowledge? We're going to show you pursuing Romans 11:9. We're going to show you Psalms 69:21. David prayed that 2/3 of the nation of Israel would not receive the truth. Psalms 69:21, brothers and sisters. We're going to show you this. I have to run through this very quick, so pay close attention. Psalm 69:21. They gave me gall for my meat, and in my thirst they gave me vinegar to drink. This is David prophesying by Yahushua way before his death. This was futuristic prophecy of what would come concerning the crucifixion of Yahushua. And then it says Psalm 69:22. Let their table. The table is just the Bible. Table is just tablets you write upon, because back in the ancient world they wrote upon tablets of stone, tablets of wood, tablets of different type of devices. That table is just basically known as the Bible. So let their table become a snare before them, that which shall have been of their welfare, let it become a trap. So David said that the Bible, which is the table, it should have been for your welfare. Simply, it should have been for your benefit. But now it's become a trap unto you. It says, let their table become a snare before them. So David prayed that 2/3 of the nation of Israel would not receive the truth. So we're not mad if you simple-minded Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't believe what we're saying. We're not mad because you was blinded. That prayer fell upon you that David prayed that you would not receive this truth. Psalm 69:23. Let their eyes be darkened. See, let their eyes be darkened. So if you can't get it, it's because David prayed that 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans' eyes be darkened, that they see not, and make their loins continually shake. Okay, so we're not surprised if you Negroes don't roll with this truth. If you're not part of this truth and you don't want to accept that Christ was a black man, and that that the Negroes are the true Jews the Bible speaks of, and that the white man is the devil, and etc. If you don't want to accept that, we're not mad, man. Okay? We not surprised, because David prayed that 2/3 of you niggas and you Hispanics, he prayed that you won't receive the truth, and that your eyes be darkened, that you see not. And it say make their loins continually shake, because that's what's going to happen during the time of martial law, during the time of Jacob's trouble. Let's continue to move on. Psalm 69:24. Pour out thy indignation upon them, and let thy wrathful anger take hold of them. See? David also prayed that the Most High indignation come upon you 2/3. And that his wrath and anger take hold of you, because you were the same ones that rejected Yahushua in the ancient world. When Yahushua stood before Pontius Pilate, you delivered Yahushua up to be crucified, man. You said let his blood be upon you, and you chose a damn murderer over Yahushua. So you 2/3 were the same one that said crucify Yahushua back in the ancient world in the reincarnation. Okay, and David prayed that the Most High indignation come upon you as a recompense, and let his wrath and his anger take hold of you. Psalm 69:25. Let their habitation be desolate, and let none dwell in the tents. Psalm 69:26. Alright. for they persecuted him. Yeah, you 2/3 niggas, you Hispanics. You persecuted him. You persecuted Yahushua when he stood before Pontius Pilate, and you said that you chose a murderer over Yahushua, and you said crucify him and let his blood be upon us. You told Pontius Pilate to simply crucify the Messiah, man, because you said that he was making blasphemous statements. So you 2/3 niggas is in for it, man. You 2/3 niggas is going to receive judgment at its highest because you persecuted Yahushua, whom thou hast smitten, and they taught the grief of those whom they had wounded. Okay? And in Psalm 69:27, he said, add iniquity into their iniquity, and let them not. See, this is the key point. This is the kicker. Let them not come into thy righteousness. So David prayed that 2/3 of you niggas, you Hispanics, you Native Americans, he prayed that you won't receive the truth. So we're not mad if you don't receive the truth. We're not mad if you can't get reincarnation, that you can't understand reincarnation. We're not mad if you don't understand that the fallen angels were the Sethites. We're not mad if you can't get who the fallen angels are. We're not mad if you still want to continue to believe in a goddamn hell. If you still continue to believe in eternal suffering, eternal punishment. If you can't get reincarnation. If you still want to continue to believe in the Trinity, that the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit are one. If you still want to believe that some of the Edomites can be saved. If you still want to believe the white man can be saved. We're not astonished. We're not surprised because you don't know the Bible, man. Because David prayed that you should not come into thy righteousness. So you 2/3, we're not surprised. Okay? If you can't get the deep dark sins and the understandings of the Bible. Because David prayed that you will not come into this truth, man. Psalm 69:28. Let them be blotted out the book of the living. Let them be blotted. What is the book of the living? The Bible. And not be written with their righteousness. So David prayed that 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans wouldn't receive the truth no matter how hard we try to edify you. And that's why we have to keep it moving. It's whether you hear, you forbear. It's whether you take it in or not. But if you don't take it in, we understand that prayer of David is much in effect as of today. Because it was in effect when it fell on them Pharisees, man. That's why it says, according as it's written, God have given them the spirit of slumber, that their eyes, that they should not see, their ears, that they should not hear unto this day. Romans 11:9. And David said that in the 69th chapter of Psalms. Let their table be made a snare. Basically this Bible. Let them not be able to understand this Bible. Let it be a trap to them. Let it be a stumbling block to them. And pay back unto them. Why? Because you were the same 2/3 back in the ancient world that crucified Yahushua, man. And for that very reason, David prayed that you would not receive the edification of the truth and the understanding of the Bible. So we not mad if you niggas want to go off and be Muslims and want to affiliate yourself in Egyptology and it's nonsense. We not mad at you, man. Because you the same old people that David prayed that the Bible become a snare, that this understanding of this Bible be a snare to you, that it be a trap and a stumbling block and a recompense to you. So if you saying, oh man, the Bible is the white man's book, or the white man wrote the Bible is not from the hands of God. God didn't write the Bible, man. Man wrote the Bible. You simple-minded niggas, you Hispanics, you making statements. We not surprised over those statements because David prayed that the Bible, your table, be made a snare and a trap and a stumbling block to you, man. So we're not amazed. Because you're making those statements. You don't understand. Romans 11:10. Let their eyes be darkened that they may not see. That's why we're not surprised. So it shouldn't agitate you at the end of the day. It shouldn't agitate you to the point where you just go haywire because someone can't simply come into the truth. You don't spend 13 hours talking to a guy trying to edify him in the truth and he's still not getting it. He's not getting it. Or you may spend 12 hours trying to edify a woman in the truth and she seems to not get it. She seems to not understand the slave trade and the prophecies, how the so-called Negroes was brought as slaves to serve captives in America. How the Most High chose the white man to rule over these so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans for the rejection of his laws. How this white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. You may have some individuals out there that may not agree on that, man. You know why? we not surprised because David said, let their eyes be darkened. So these brothers that's teaching false doctrine, these brothers that may not understand the deep dark sayings, they don't believe in reincarnation. They still want to continue to believe in some fallen angels. They still want to continue to believe that Cornelius was an Edomite. They continue to believe that this Holy Spirit is a woman. They want to continue to believe that some Edomites can be saved. They want to continue to believe all this nonsense. Is simply because David prayed that their eyes be darkened, that they might not see, and that they may bow down their back always. And we not surprised, man. Because it was meant for you 2/3 not to receive the truth. Why? Because David prayed that you would be in darkness, that you may not see, okay? That you would be blind, that you would have a spirit of slumber, okay? And that your ears should not hear, man. Romans 11:11. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? Because that prayer fell on those Pharisees and Sadducees. That prayer that David prayed fell on those scribes, Pharisees, and Sadducees, and chief priests. And that's why they took Yahushua for a joke. They didn't even believe that he was the Son of God. Yahushua did miracles. Yahushua healed the sick. Yahushua raised the dead. Yahushua turned water into wine. Yahushua did many marvelous things upon the earth. And these stupid ass Pharisees, Sadducees, and scribes still rejected the chief cornerstone. They rejected him. They didn't believe he was the Son of God. They said that he was making blasphemous statements. Okay, they said that he was not the truth. They didn't believe, and they stumbled and they failed, man. And why did they do that? Because David prayed that 2/3 of you niggas, you Hispanics, will receive the truth. So we ain't surprised why the Pharisees didn't accept Yahushua for being the Son of God, man. They failed, they stumbled, that they should fall. That's why Paul said, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. Rather through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles. What Gentiles? Northern Kingdom Israelites in a Gentile state of mind. It's not talking about you white folks, Hispanics, Salaki. It's not talking about you white folks, Japanese, Chinese, Africans, Arabs, East Indians, and so forth. It's talking about Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans that took upon Gentile state of mind. Salvation came to the Northern Kingdom to provoke the Southern Kingdom to jealousy because they didn't appreciate the salvation that Yahushua came to give to them, man. And they stumbled and they failed. Why? Because David prayed that they would fall. All right. So that's just a short take concerning on Romans the 11th chapter. Like I say, I'm gonna have to make a part 2 because I'm on a 30-minute time limit. So that's basically why you 2/3 niggas, you Hispanics, you Native Americans. That's why if you ever wonder why you can't vibe with this truth that we're bringing, it's because it wasn't meant for you. David prayer was much effective on your behalf, okay? And that's why you can't understand. That's why you continue to preach Egyptology and you want to continue to be affiliated with Islam and all these vain philosophies and these religions, because it wasn't meant for you to receive the truth. So once again, brothers and sisters, this is Solid Foundation International Ministries. Brother Brandon Judah McDuffie, okay, edifying the lost sheep of the house of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahushua. The water, Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All praises and glorification to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We want to say Shalom, Wabarak, Akiyam, Shalom, Wabarak, Athwaya. Okay? Through the spirit and power of Yahushua. Once again, Solid Foundation International Ministries. Peace.